Alright, so what's going on, guys? My name's Chopper, and ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be an insane video. We're going to be talking about the entire Mob of the Dead storyline, completely canon. No thing is left to speculation now. We have it all completely laid out in front of us, and we're going to be explaining this today. So if you missed the reveal of Zombies Chronicles yesterday, Jason Blundell put out this image right here, and what this is the entire zombie storyline, and you can see it's kind of looped around. You see all like these little dashes across the middle and around the edges and stuff, and these are actually paragraphs filled with stories and, remarks about the zombie storyline. So that means I have all of the Mob of the Dead ones, and we're going to read them all in chronological order and figure out what's really going on with this. Now, if you guys do end up enjoying this video, make sure to leave a like right now. We're going to aim for 300 likes on this video, since this is just some absolutely insane stuff. And just as a little disclaimer before we get started here, this stuff is a lot to take in. There's a lot of information that you might want to listen to, in short little segments, so you can kind of piece together what's going on. But I'm going to lay all the information out right here, right now, and you can take it how you will. So getting started here, July 18th, 1922, Salvador DeLuca opens gambling houses across Chicago. This marks the beginning of the DeLuca crime family. February 17th, 1923, Billy Handsome joins the DeLuca crime family as a hitman. Sal will come to look at Billy as the son he never had. September 18th, 1923, an expert in gambling and rigging sporting events, Michael Finn O'Leary, begins working for Sal. So it's kind of seeing how all of our characters end up meeting one another. March 23rd, 1924, Finn marries Angela Bow, an aspiring starlet with the delusions of grandeur. And we heard about this in Shadows of Evil with Finn phone calls, and this kind of confirms our theories about Finn being married to her. March 1st, 1929, Sal writes of his frustration with Chicago's finest. After many years of successful bribes with the city, it becomes clear that it is no longer an option. March 11th, 1930, Sal begins to work with Albert Arlington, an associate in Los Angeles known for being a master schemer and bank robber. October 14th, 1930, Finn informs his lawyer that he will not accept divorce from Angela, saying she can leave this marriage the day she leaves this earth, which is actually a cipher in Mob of the Dead. It's in the cell in the spawn room. October 11th, 1931, after an LA heist for Sal goes wrong, Al wakes up in the hospital. October 18th, 1931, while in the hospital, Al submits Icarus from Mars for publication as a comic strip. It is his third attempt. It is denied again. These are the scraps that we see around Mob of the Dead of Al's papers, the 10 scraps of paper that you can collect. November 11th, 1931, angry and frustrated with his collapsing empire, Sal kills a prostitute. No longer willing to turn a blind eye, the Chicago PD arrests him. December 1st, 1931, in an operation against the DeLuca crime family, Billy is arrested for multiple homicides. December 19th, 1931, in an operation against the DeLuca crime family, Finn is arrested by Chicago PD when his wife offers evidence against him. January 19th, 1932, Al is arrested for his role in the LA heist. May 14th, 1932, Sal is found guilty of murder. He is sentenced to life in prison at Alcatraz. May 16th, 1932, Billy is found guilty of 116 counts of murder. He is sentenced to life in prison at Alcatraz. So right here we're finding out all of the terrible crimes that they did to get themselves stuck within this cycle. June 13th, 1932, Sal and Billy arrive at Alcatraz Island. June 30th, 1932, Finn arrives at Alcatraz Island. July 1st, 1932, Al is found guilty of grand larceny, grand theft auto, arson, conspiracy, and battery. He will serve his sentence at Alcatraz. August 3rd, he arrives at Alcatraz. January 1st, Stanley Ferguson begins working at Alcatraz Island. So this is Brutus, or the warden, if you will. April 31st, 1933, Al convinces Sal, Finn, and Billy that they can build a plane and escape Alcatraz. December 2nd, 1933, realizing the plane will never be completed and admitted with rage, Sal, Finn, and Billy plot to get revenge on Al. December 31st, 1933, Finn, Sal, and Billy lure Al to the roof and kill him. So at this point, we all pretty much know this stuff. If you know the lore of Mob of the Dead, this is pretty much all rehashing information to you if you know your ciphers and things like that. But here's where things start to get crazy. April 16th, 1940, Richtofen arrives in Dimension 63, where he contacted members of the Illuminati and enlists their help to build a laboratory beneath Alcatraz. April 18th, 1940, Richtofen meets with Stanley Ferguson and convinces him to assist with the Illuminati's construction of the Alcatraz laboratory. July 3rd, 1941, Stanley Ferguson reports that the laboratory has been completed and the subject will be placed in the stasis chambers upon arrival, so basically a cryogenic chamber. July 4th, 1941, Richtofen returns to the lab under Alcatraz, where we meet Victus. Arriving up from the empty Earth with the Chronorium, upon reading the Chronorium, Richtofen discovers numerous timelines documenting their fates and learns about the blood files. He would later write on the page, "I know what I must do, ER 4741. Richtofen enters a rift to acquire blood of Sal and Finn after delivering the blood to his younger self and recovering the blood vials belonging to Victus as he returns. Victus is placed on ice to be kept safe until they are needed next. If you don't know who Victus is, this is the transit crew. And then if you've been reading the Zombies comics, you know that they found this empty Earth after going into these chambers, and this is where their blood is kept safe and for Richtofen's use whenever he needs to use it. July 4th, 1941, Primus arrives to collect the Victus blood samples from Richtofen. Following Primus's departure, Richtofen learns the location of the summoning key and travels to his next dimension. So this is the Primus, the number, or like the first ever of these characters, and they go into Victus under Alcatraz in the laboratory to collect the blood sample. On October 1st, Stanley Ferguson leaves his employment at Alcatraz. October 21st, 1943, posing as Mr. Rapp, the Shadowman hires the reporter to recover artifacts from the South Pacific and Russia, and these are exactly the phone calls that we heard to the reporter within Shadows of Evil, and this kind of lines up perfectly. December 14th, 1943, the reporter recovers the artifacts from the South Pacific and Russia. Among them is the summoning key. December 31st, 1943, Mr. Rapp's request to the reporter arrives in Morgue City, taking the sights, sounds, and smells. Just January 15th, 1944, a meteor shower rains over Morgue City. January 30th, 1944, the reporter notes how mold is now growing all over the city. He notes that people are getting sick and feeling delirious. Now this is where we get our Mob of the Dead and Shadows of Evil crossover. We're starting to see how these things are connected, and the Shadowman was using the reporter and also affecting the universe of our Mob of the Dead. February 13th, 1944, a fruit vendor tells the reporter about how the Ancient Order, the Keepers, and how they're the only ones holding back the forces of the apocalypse. He talks of the people hearing chanting from beneath the city. March 30th, 1944, the reporter sends Mr. Rapp a telegram providing the details and contact information for Nero, Jessica Rose, Floyd Campbell, and Jackie Vincent. April 5th, 1944. Aware of the Shadowman's actions, Monty writes the reporter, warning him not to give the summoning key to anyone. So this is the letter that we see that's labeled M. April 10th, 1944, Jessica Rose learns a photographer is in possession of compromising pictures of her. April 20th, 1944, pretending to be a company executive, the Shadowman tells Nero's lawyer that Nero's wife has taken out substantial loans in his name. Nero has 15 days to settle before the company seeks reparation. Facing multiple debts due to his wife's spending habits, Nero decided to kill his wife and get life insurance to pay off the debt. April 20th, 1934. Masquerading as an internal affairs officer, the Shadowman tried to convince Jack Vincent's partner to admit that Jack plots to kill the snitch who could provide evidence against him. April 20th, 1944. The Shadowman poses as a film director interested in hiring Jessica for a leading role. He tells the producer that the part is hers. Afraid that the photographer could jeopardize her chance at stardom, she asks him to meet her so they can sort stuff out. Posing as a journalist, the Shadowman suggests Floyd Campbell is a journeyman fighter to Floyd's promoter. Wanting to guarantee his shot at the title, Floyd wears brass knuckles under his gloves for his fight with Tony King. April 21st, Nero misses a call from his lawyer informing him that the documents were forged and there's nothing to worry about. April 21st, Jack misses a call from his partner that he has his back with internal affairs and has nothing to worry about. April 21st, Floyd misses a call from his promoter that the fight was a success and he has a shot at the title. April 21st, Jessica misses a call from her producer. He says he didn't have a good feeling about the director and it didn't work out. However, he scored her lead in a musical and his partner are financing. And then the next few ones are just the Shadows of Evil and then the people who they killed, which we already kind of know by now. And then this is where things get interesting once again. April 21st, Richtofen arrives in Morgue City to secure the summoning key. April 22nd, Richtofen learns the reporter has the summoning key and confronts him. The reporter waves Monty's letter at Richtofen and orders him to stay away before attacking him. Richtofen kills the reporter in self-defense. April 25th, 1944, Nero, Jack, Floyd, and Jessica are knocked unconscious at the Black Lace Burlesque Club. They wake up in a twisted version of Morgue City, shifted slightly from reality. Told they can atone for their sins by the Shadowman, all four are tricked into performing rituals. Jessica sacrifices her producer, Jack sacrifices his partner, Floyd sacrifices his promoter, and Nero sacrifices his lawyer. Completing the required rituals, the Apothecans are given access to Dimension 63. Realizing they've been duped, the four work with the Keepers to defeat the Shadowman and trap him in the summoning key. But before they can hand it over to the Keepers, Primus Richtofen arrives and steals the key. Richtofen travels travels to dimension 2210 to secure the innocent Richtofen's soul and delivers the soul to the house. From within the summoning key, the Shadow Man states, "I will be seen." And then April 26th, the Apothicons destroy Dimension 63. And there we go. Holy crap, guys. The one right before the Apothicons destroying the dimension, we hear about Primus Richtofen going and securing the summoning key, and then he gives the blood vials to Origins Richtofen. Like, he'll give it to his younger self to use in order to survive. So basically, Primus Richtofen from the end of the Revelations cutscene is not the same as Origins Richtofen, and that's the one who gave the blood vials to him. And we know that this was all made possible from the transit crew using their blood within those stasis chambers to access the empty Earth and secure the Chronorium. Now, if you guys have not seen the empty Earth, it's within the brand new Zombies comic. It's the one that just came out, and we see that the transit crew was able to access this part of the Earth that didn't ever have humans in it, and it's where the Chronorium was hiding, and they were able to secure it and stuff like that. So that's how Richtofen actually ended up getting a hold of it in Reddit. Right now, it's just so crazy to see how all of these universes came together, right? We have our Mob of the Dead universe, and we have the merge with Shadows, and then the transit crew plays into it, and then also our original 4, and everything just kind of meshes together and makes sense at this point. It's all laid out in front of us, which is honestly just mind-blowing. But there you go, guys. That's the entire Mob of the Dead storyline explained and how it meshes in with the rest of the overarching story. If you guys did enjoy this, make sure to leave a like on the video right now. I'd really appreciate that. And if you are brand new to the channel, subscribe right now for more content just like this. I'd appreciate that as well. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you everybody so much for watching once again. Hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you all on the next video.